You want our papers, eh?
Yeah, give them.
That's actually two.
What's something?
It is one.
Good morning, countrymen and women, ladies and gentlemen, the youth, and honorable distinguished Zambians. This morning we invite you to a press briefing by the NRPUP presidential candidate and indeed the president of NRPUP and the Tonsi Pamoja Alliance, Honorable Mundubile'S himself, to address the media on national issues, specifically with regards to the elections, ongoing political happenings within NRPUP and the Tonsi Pamoja Alliance will be highlighted. It is a very brief national address by the president, but it will also be anchored by his spokesperson, the presidential spokesperson, Honorable George Sanga. At this particular time, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to call upon the presidential spokesperson, Counsel George Sanga, to come and take off this press briefing on behalf of the president, and thereafter, the president will also come and address and speak to the nation. Honorable Sanga, I call upon.
I think as we are inching to the day of elections, the Secretary General is moving very slow in time. He thinks it's morning, it's actually afternoon, which means we are almost at the time when that crucial time must be reached to make that decision. Let me recognize the presence of the incoming Republican President, President Mundubile'S. I recognize also the presence of all the senior members of the Tonsi Pamoja Alliance who are franking President Mundubile'S at this occasion. I have been permitted by the incoming president to make very few remarks, particularly considering the fact that some people are very worried about our personal disposition. I just want to start by first correcting the rumor that has gone viral. And I know that those who put the rumor in perspective meant well, because really we are living at a time when you don't know who's going to be kidnapped or hijacked at what time. There's a story going around that I have been a victim of a kidnap, and so have been my colleagues, Mr. Jaffe Makalombe, and the senior member, Mr. Sebastian Copeland, who, from the information I've just been given, is still in custody. I just want to correct the impression. We have not been kidnapped. My colleague, Jaffe Makalombe, and myself, our senior member of the Tonsi Pamoja Alliance, Mr. Miraka Kana, and Mr. Honorable Sencho Banda were yesterday subjected to a gruesome operation by the joint operation of the DEC, the police, and I'm informed the Anti-Corruption Commission. We were kept incommunicado from about 11 hours to about 23 hours. What we were informed was that they were doing an operation at my premises of business. As the nation knows, I run a law practice, and this law practice sometimes avails a facility for members of the Tonsi Alliance to come and conduct some business. And I had allowed my colleagues to sit in our boardroom, as it were, to conduct the business. And the business that we were doing is connected with preparation for the election. We have now reached a very crucial time where we have to put all logistics in place to ensure that countrywide, all those who are going to be monitoring elections on behalf of the President Mundubile'S and his Vice President, members of Parliament, mayors, councillors, and chairpersons. We have agents who have been accredited and who have been appointed by the Tonsi Pamoja Alliance countrywide to carry out that important function. As everybody knows, that function cannot be carried out without resources. So the good people that support the Tonsi Alliance countrywide had responded to the query that we had made before to help us mobilize resources that are required to be utilized for the purposes of ensuring that our supporters and our agents who will be working in polling stations which are all around the country, who will have a little resource for them to be able to do that work. And this is a job that my colleagues who were found in my boardroom were carrying out. Unbeknown and without any instigation, we were informed that the DEC has come and they were conducting an operation at my premises. Now, I was possibly the target of that operation, and I had provisionally left the office to go and conduct some other work on behalf of the president. And the people that were found there were subjected to a rigorous search. And when I joined, I was also my officer, even my own staff to this search, even if they have nothing to do with the Tonse Alliance business as we prepare for elections on 13th of August 2026. So my staff were violated, they were brutalized, they were searched, even when they shouldn't have been searched. My premises was turned upside down, as one would have expected when somebody is doing something that is, for lack of a better term, politically motivated. At about 23 hours, we were then informed by the Joint Operation Team that they were going to go away with the money that they found on my colleagues who were doing this work. That is money that was contributed by well-wishers for the Tonse Alliance, who would want to ensure that we undertake a process called vote protection. In fact, the whole exercise had to do with vote protection. Whatever questions the joint team asked my colleagues, it was answered effectively. We explained exactly what we were doing and what we intended to achieve with the exercise that we put in place. We even gave them documents that showed clearly how the money has been earmarked and what it's supposed to be utilized for. Unfortunately, in a country where politics permeates everything, we ended up losing that money in the hands of the DEC and the team that they came with, even when there was no criminality associated with that money. That money, like I said, most of it was intended to be utilized for logistics for people who are going to monitor elections, our polling agents who have already been appointed and accredited. Part of it was supposed to help us to actually go to Choma and to go to Mazabuka and Livingston to go and conduct the final legs of our rallies. All this money had been identified, and we told the DEC what we wanted to achieve with that money. Unfortunately for us, they were unrelenting, and they collected that money. The intention clearly is to paralyze the Tonse Alliance in the work that they're doing. The next steps they're about to take now, from what they informed us, is that we are all supposed to present ourselves at the DEC at 14 hours today, possibly in the quest to have them formalize the arrest that they would like to carry out on us. So we just want to make an earnest call, to the political leadership of this nation. We have been campaigning even under the most difficult circumstances. Every source of our income that we wanted to utilize in the campaign has been blocked. Fortunately, Zambians responded wholeheartedly to the requests that were made by the leadership of the Tonse Alliance, and we managed to mobilize the resources that were found in the hands of our colleagues. I know I'm speaking this in the midst of the so-called police investigation. I do not want to point the blame at the police, because possibly they're basically being utilized by the political interest in this nation. But I would like to point a finger of blame at those who would like to paralyze what the Tonse Alliance is doing as they prepare themselves to participate in this election. That little resource that they found in our hands is a drop in the ocean compared to what other political parties are utilizing in conducting their political affairs, especially the campaigns and even preparation, for this election. We have seen on social media how much money is being flashed around by the UPND, but none of that money is being flashed around wherever we go as Tonse Alliance. People are only responding to the message that is being carried by our leadership wherever we've traveled. So this money that has been dispossessed of us is actually intended to ensure that we meet logistical expectations as we prepare for the 13th August. Unfortunately, this money has gone and it's been taken by the state. If the UPND government believes in transparency, if the UPND government believes in a free and fair election, what they did negates that expectation. Unless they can become honest and accept that we are entitled to utilize that little resource that we were trying to distribute countrywide and prevail upon whatever institution is carrying out this purported investigation and allow that money be returned to the people who rightfully own it. And this money is supposed to be deployed to make sure that we have a free, transparent, and clear election. They should be able to actually make that decision without any delay. But we know the circumstances we're living under. We know the expectations that we have. The intention of the UPND is to decapitate the Tonse Pamoja Alliance, even as we try to participate in this election. But we are not relenting. We want to thank the people that have responded, even after hearing what happened to us yesterday. The messages of goodwill, the messages of solidarity that we have received on our phones, including the phone of the president, which he himself was come to touch on, have just warmed our hearts. And we are so still determined to make sure that come what may, we are going to participate in this election. Our polling agents countrywide, our partner monitors countrywide are reassured that we are doing everything possible to ensure that we resource the work that they have to do. We are expectant that somebody is going to be objective, transparent, and professional enough, even this afternoon, and establish that that money has no subject of criminality attached to it, and release that money so that we can begin to utilize it. We only have less than 48 hours into the election. Even though it's been very difficult in the work that we've been carrying out, we've remained resolute. We have moved step by step until we get to a stage where we are. It doesn't make any sense for anybody to come and decapitate us at this time, simply because they want to have an election in which there is no genuine contest. What is going to happen in the polling stations if we don't have monitors to look at what is happening? What is going to happen in the polling station if our agents are not going to be allowed to participate because they can't travel? Some polling stations are distant far. For some of us who've got constituencies in rural areas, we know how much ground somebody has to cover to move from where they are to a polling station. This little resource put in their hands can be utilized to hire a motorbike or even a bicycle to go to a polling station. Honestly, if the UPND believes in a free and fair election, and I know they don't, this challenge goes to them directly. These institutions don't exist in void. They report somewhere. They are given instructions somewhere. I know that what I'm saying is going to throw me into a fray, but time has come for Zambians to stand and speak the truth about what is going on. All stakeholders who are following this election are called upon to be vigilant, to be resolute, and to come in their numbers on that day of election, to come and vote for a candidate of their choice. This election is a defining moment. From what we have seen since we started our campaign, Zambians have made a clear resolution about what they would like to see on the 13th of August, 2026. And no amount of adjustments that are going to be made to everything, including the electoral rules, including how we go and campaign, including how they implement the take for themselves. So do not it. We even when what has happened, hands together, and by deciding how we're going to equip our polling agents, how we're going to equip our poll monitors, and any other stakeholders who are going to be participating in the electoral process to ensure that a free and fair election takes place and overwhelm the ECZ, which has shown a clear bias from the time that the campaign started, is by coming in your large numbers and coming to demonstrate that you've got a duty under the Constitution to choose the leadership that you would like to choose for yourselves. We are ready. We became ready when we filed those nominations for our president and vice president to participate in the election. When we filed all those nominations for the parliamentary seats in which we were allowed to file, it is very, very clear that in other constituencies we were not able to file because of the kind of conduct that we are seeing even currently. I just mentioned that some of that money that we wanted to utilize was supposed to have been used to go to Southern Province. We are still determined, if time allows, we're going to go to Southern Province. But beforehand, maybe I should apologize to the people who are expecting us in Southern Province to go and give them our viewpoints on how we would like to have Zambia run as a country when we get into power. They're being denied an opportunity to see a leadership that is an alternative leadership. Even what has happened now reduces our capacity to send people to go to Southern Province to go and campaign. The money that has been taken from us, some of it was earmarked to go to at least a minimum of three districts in Southern Province. Now that we've been decapitated, we are making adjustments. We still have resolved to try and go to Southern Province. If matters work, we will go there. If it doesn't work, the message that the President has been sending to Southern Province has been clear and resolute. We consider Southern Province as much a part of this country as any other province is. We know all of you in Southern Province who are keenly waiting for the President to come, take this from our heart. We are going through a very tough time, but we know that even with our absence there, we are still in your hearts as much as you are in our hearts. If it fails, we'll still find a way of addressing you to ensure that we collect everybody in this country and move forward together with them when we get into government on 13th of August, 2026. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council. That is the Presidential Spokesperson, Honorable Sanga. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my rare honor, privilege, and opportunity to call upon the NRPUP presidential candidate, President Brian Mundubile himself, to address the media and the nation. Mr. President, I call upon you. Thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. I'll start by recognizing the presence of members of the Council of Leaders, the Presidential Spokesperson, the Secretary General, the media, ladies and gentlemen, countrymen and women. Today, I address the nation today at a very serious moment in the life of our democracy. We are now only 2 days away from the general election, which should be held on 13th of August 2026. At precisely the moment when Zambia should be demonstrating its commitment to peaceful elections, political tolerance, and the rule of law, we are instead receiving disturbing reports concerning the disappearance and detention of people associated with the opposition. As of last night, 3 senior political figures could not be accounted for by their colleagues been picked. Comrades Honorable and George Sanga himself, we've been able to establish that Dr. Sebastian Kopulande was abducted last night in a similar pattern like Ambassador Martha Lungu was abducted. This is a disturbing pattern. In recent weeks, we've witnessed a succession of arrests and detentions involving people associated with the opposition, like I said earlier. Mr. Kenneth Kamba, our Deputy Secretary General, was detained last month. Police subsequently confirmed that he was in their custody in connection with what they described only as ongoing investigations. We have also had arrests and detentions involving members of a campaign, media personnel, musicians, bloggers, and security personnel. Among those whose cases have been brought to our attention are musicians like Chester, More Power, and Felix, comedian Winston Ngosa, popularly known as IDC, bloggers like Rooney Kapia and Matthew Zubi, as well as Hannah and Ambassador Martha Lungu. This is in addition to the 34 members of our security team who are still languishing in police cells somewhere in Mongo. We are particularly concerned by the reports involving members of our security teams and voter protection structures in Western Province. The police service owes the country a comprehensive explanation regarding these arrests and detentions. Where somebody has committed an offense, charge that person according to the law. give them access to their lawyers and families, and take them before a court of competent jurisdiction. That is how a constitutional democracy works. What we cannot accept is a situation in which people apparently disappear, relatives do not know where they are, lawyers struggle to establish their whereabouts, and explanations only emerge much later, as the case has been in the names of individuals I've stated earlier. Countrymen and women, since when did music, comedy, and journalism become crimes? I want Zambians to think carefully about what we're witnessing. Chester is a musician. Felix is a gospel musician. IDC is a comedian. Rooney Kapi and Matthew Zubi are involved in blogging and political media. Hannah Israel has been involved in recording and documenting opposition political activities. Since when did singing become a crime in Zambia? Since when did performing a gospel song at a political rally become a crime? Since when did comedy become a threat to the state? Since when did holding a camera or documenting an opposition rally make its song? It does not fear a camera, and it certainly does not fear a ballot box. This election must not be conducted under fear. What concerns us most is the timing. These developments are occurring in the final hours before national election. Individuals associated with campaign security have been detained. Individuals associated with media operations have been detained. Individuals involved in political organizations have been detained. And now we have received reports involving senior people connected to elections and our political organization. Countrymen and women, just to be clear, the pattern is very clear. The UPND would like to paralyze our election monitoring units. You see a pattern where they've targeted those of our members who have been seconded to the National Results Center at Mulungushi. Among the people they're targeting is Nonde Mubanga, Honorable George Chisanga. They're also targeting President Kasonde Mwenda. They're targeting President Enoch Roosevelt Tonga. They're targeting Council Jonas Zimba. They're also targeting Honorable Jafet Mwakalombe. They're targeting Comrade Sebastian Kopulande. They're targeting Davis Chisopa. They're targeting Mutotwe Kafwaya and Kanso Kambwa Aongola. Now, all these names that I've read out are names of individuals that are connected to election management. So UPND has made it a mission to try and arrest all these individuals under frivolous charges so as to paralyze our election monitoring unit. Zambians, this is something that we must all condemn. What we demand is a free and fair election. Taken together, these events raise legitimate questions about whether the objective is to disrupt the opposition's capacity to organize and protect its vote on August 13th. We therefore demand that the Inspector General of Police and Zambia Police Service immediately clarify the whereabouts of Dr. Sebastian Kopulande. If at all Dr. Kopulande is in police custody, Zambians must be informed. Their families must be informed. The lawyers should be informed. We must also be told the allegations against them and respect their constitutional rights. Our appeal to the international community. I now address members of the diplomatic community, international election observers, and Zambia's cooperating partners. Please pay attention to what is happening in Zambia now. Our understanding of an election is that an election is not an event, but a process. It therefore means that whatever is happening now will form part of the report that our cooperating partners will assemble at the end of this process. It's therefore very as they unfold, and how the UPND government has gone all out to detain our people, the people that are involved in election management, how the UPND government has even gone to the extent of seizing funds meant for polling agents. At this point, clearly, our friends in government should know that we are preparing for elections. And the people that are involved without that they could turn up at an office making arrangements to dispatch these funds to polling agents, and they were on the table. And they proceeded to seize these funds, all in an effort to paralyze our operations. So to our cooperating partners, we want you to pay specific attention. The intention of the UPND is that we should not have any polling agents in these polling stations. They would like to have a free flow and be able to do whatever they want in these polling stations, because they would have ensured that our polling agents are not present in these particular times. So it's very, very important, therefore, our international community to take note of these particular activities, even as they slowly assemble their report. We do not expect the international community and cooperating partners to come and express an opinion only over the events of one day, ignoring weeks that transpired, especially in the observers and diplomatic missions to document these incidents, seek clarifications from the relevant authorities, and speak clearly whenever the fundamental freedoms required for a credible election appear threatened. Zambia has spent decades building a reputation as one of Africa's peaceful democracies. We have changed governments democratically and peacefully before. We must not allow that proud inheritance to be damaged. Silence in the face of credible allegations of intimidation does not strengthen democracy. Independent scrutiny does. Our appeal to the church. I also appeal to the church. We acknowledge and thank Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops and other Christian bodies who have spoken clearly about political violence, intimidation, and the need for peaceful elections. The Catholic bishops have reminded parties will come and go. Presidents will come and go. But the church must always stand for justice, peace, human dignity, and truth. If somebody is unjustly detained, we must speak. If somebody is assaulted because of their politics, we must speak. If the rights of citizens are threatened, we must speak. Not because those citizens belong to NRPUP, UPND, or any other political party, but because they are Zambians. Our appeal to civil society. I similarly appeal to civil society organizations, human rights defenders, women organizations, lawyers, bodies and media organizations, and elections monitoring organizations. The defense of democracy cannot be selective. Where women are detained in questionable circumstances, organizations established to protect the rights and dignity of women should ask questions. Where journalists, bloggers, media personnel are arrested, media organizations should ask questions. Where political activists disappear, human rights organizations should ask questions. And where electoral participants are intimidated, election monitoring organizations must document it. You do not have to support Brian Mundubile. You do not have to support Makebi Zulu. You do not have to support NRPUP. You only have to support Zambia and the rule of law. And to the people of Zambia, finally, I speak directly to the people of Zambia. Do not be afraid. Whatever your political choice may be, exercise your constitutional right to vote on Thursday, 13th August. Go peacefully, vote peacefully. I'm appealing to you Zambians, wherever you may be. We want you to wake up. Wear your jacket of courage to go and cast your vote. Do not be intimidated. Once you cast your vote, remain around the polling stations to protect your vote. Today, George Sanga may be detained. Kopulande may be detained. Mundubile may be detained. Makebi may be detained. But the message lives on. Our fight is not against the UPND. Our fight is against poverty. Our fight is for the Zambian people. We are here to fight for you. We are Zambians, I want to encourage you. Do not be discouraged. Our polling agents, we will do everything possible to ensure that you are resourced. Are the people, the ordinary Zambians that funded these campaigns, have continued to send their support, even as early as this morning, after the money was paid. We will therefore ensure that you are sufficiently resourced, but most importantly is your resolve to go and protect your vote. Before the money comes in, it's your resolve, it's your conviction as a Zambian. Can you imagine another 5 years under the UPND? No. Another 5 years of arbitrary detentions? No. Another 5 years of abductions? No. Another 5 years of corruption? No. Another 5 years of thefts? No. Wouldn't you want a Zambia where political parties can campaign freely? Farmers who get payments for having supplied their maize. Imagine instead of prescription. Where you'll be able to criticize government freely without facing any retribution at all. A Zambia where you will have laws that defend you. A Zambia where the police will be defenders of public safety and not people that will be deployed and weaponized to shoot the innocent youths on the pretext that they're smuggling 2 bags of millimil. And yet themselves within the leadership, they smuggle millimil. Would you want a Zambia that sends soldiers to Senseli mine on the copper belt? Get rid of the youths who are trying to get a living. Drive them away from those dump sites. and bring in their friends, their rich friends, to take over without having to think about these indigenous Zambians. Zambians, I'm saying to you, do not be afraid. Upon yourselves to escort those vehicles to the totaling centers. Yes. Do not let those vehicles move on their own. Those vehicles are station. And the resistance, every Zambian, they overwhelm those polling stations. They'll come in police uniforms. They'll come in ZNS uniforms. There is no crime you have committed for turning up to vote. Therefore, don't run away. Stand there, challenge them, wait and tell them you are there to defend your vote. We do not want any Zambian to flee upon seeing those police uniforms. Time has come for your second independence. You will only liberate yourself by standing up to defend your vote. So Zambians, we want you to remain strong and firm, because we've remained very strong. We have said we've put our lives on the line for the Zambian people. As we speak to you now, our friends are bringing in foreigners from across the borders, from Kenya and Tanzania. They are hovering around these offices in tinted vehicles with guns. But we have said we will not fear. We will stand for the Zambian people. And the good news I have for my dear President, President Hakainde Hichilema and his brothers, is that we may not have enough bulletproof jackets to defend. And I stand I will remain firm because I'm protected. My God, my Lord, is my anchor, and I will stand firm. I'll face all those colleagues that you have brought in from Tanzania. They came in, instructions have been given. Why are you allowing Mundubile'S? They were here yesterday. Those mercenaries were here yesterday with the aim to eliminate us, but we will not fear. We will continue to we'll continue to drive the streets. So please inform them that we will not fear. Let them come. We are here. We will not run away from them. But the good news I have for my president, President Hakainde Hichilema, is that I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. And that's what gives me faith. I just want to assure you that even as we walk, there are barrels that are right behind us. There are people that have been hired because our friends have decided. They know that their numbers are bad. So, who've been hired, please get out of this country and go back. So, colleagues, follow the official instructions on your ballot and the directions given by authorized Electoral Commission of Zambia officers in line with the Electoral Commission of Zambia regulations voting procedures. Voters are required to mark the ballot paper not the tick that they want to introduce. They pre-marked the ballots. They are now stuck with those ballot papers. Yes. We've always used the cross. Where is the tick coming from? Zambians ignore that tick so that we can expose them for what they are. God is exposing them slowly. They pre-marked the ballot papers with a tick. They are now stuck. They are ignoring the law. The black text of the law is very clear. It's a clear X in the box of the candidate of their choice. Nowhere in the regulations has it mentioned that mark that are trying to introduce. So please, Zambians, know for certain that victory is certain. Victory in this election is certain. It doesn't matter what they do. It does not matter how much mingalatos they do. The Zambian people have spoken. The result is final. We are just waiting for the announcement. Any other mark or symbol may invalidate the vote. So please, Zambians, don't go for that tick. Use an X. This is the lawful and correct method of voting. Protect the secrecy of your ballot. Do not allow anybody to intimidate you into staying at home. Do not respond to provocation. Do not engage in violence. The ballot is stronger than the fist. The ballot is stronger than intimidation. And the ballot is certainly stronger than a panga. And the ballot is stronger than fear. Determine the direction of their country through the ballot box. That freedom belongs to every Zambian. My running mate, Honorable Makebi Zulu, and I will continue to provide leadership through these difficult final hours of the campaign. We ask our supporters throughout the country to remain peaceful, disciplined, and vigilant. Do not retaliate against anyone. Do not insult anyone. Do not fight anyone. Go and vote, then protect the integrity of the democratic process peacefully. I challenge President Hakainde Hichilema to speak to his members, to speak to the nation in the manner that I have, to encourage peace, discourage violence. I challenge you, President Hakainde Hichilema, go on TV and tell your members to remain peaceful. Ask your members to pack away their pangas, pack the guns, and remain peaceful. President Hakainde Hichilema, you still are Commander-in-Chief for the next few hours. Tell Zambia National Service. Tell Zambia National Service to stay away from these elections. Yes. Tell Zambia Police to stay away from these elections. Yes. Tell Zambia Army to stay away from these elections. There will be no violence in those polling stations for as long as your officers and your cadres remain peaceful. It's a challenge to you, President Hakainde Hichilema. You still remain Commander-in-Chief, like I said, for the next few hours, so you can still command your forces. To the authorities and those presently entrusted with the instruments of the state, I say this: power is temporal. Institutions endure. Zambia belongs to all of us. The police uniform belongs to the Republic, not a political party. The courts belong to the Republic. The Electoral Commission belongs to the Republic. And the Republic belongs to its people. Let us therefore conduct ourselves in this as you go. Stop for a moment, look at your professionalism, and advise those in authority accordingly. We do not see any logic how DEC could turn up at an office and find our members preparing to send money to polling centers. You proceed to seize that money, all with a view of paralyzing our operations. We want to assure you, our operations will not be paralyzed. It does not matter how many individuals are going to pick. The Zambians and our members are all resolved. They remain resolute to ensure that they defend the vote. The polling agents out there remain resolute to turn out at polling stations. The money will come later to go and defend the vote. I want to thank all of you for your attention. May God bless you all. May God bless our democracy. And may God bless the Republic of Zambia. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll only take strictly 3 questions because the president has another engagement right now. If there are questions from the media, we'll take only 3 questions. Okay, so introduce yourself and 1 question only. You can proceed, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm Barnabas Zulu from Daily Nation. My question goes to, thank you. My question goes to Council George Sanga. I would like to understand how much money was involved. You did not mention the figures, sir. Am I allowed to take a second question?
No, just 1 question, sir.
Right.
The last 2 more questions. So I've picked the first one. Okay, you can ask the second question. Okay, second, please go ahead. Let's be quick.
Thanks so very much. Get clarity from you. How ready are you to accept the outcome of the elections? Thank you so much.
The last one. The last one. So you
would like to understand how many people have been summoned. Yes.
Thank you. So I'll allow the spokesperson for the president to speak first, and then the president will speak last, and then we close. Council, I call upon you.
Okay, so there were 2 questions to me. The first one was how much money was found on the people that were at my chambers. The total amount of money that we had was 7,398,500 kwacha. Of that money, about 5 million was supposed to be utilized for deployment to polling agents. I hope you are hearing the question, the honor of a question. I hope you are hearing my answer. So I'll repeat, it was 7,398,500. Of that amount, about 5.5 was devoted to equip poll monitors and poll agents. The remainder of that money was supposed to be deployed in the rallies that we had prepared. 1 in Mazabuka, 1 in Livingstone, and 1 in Choma. Thank you. On the question of how many have been summoned, I am one of those who've been summoned. The other ones are Honorable Jaffe and Mwakalombe. Go and appear before the DEC at 14 hours today. Thank you.
So the last question was came from Power FM, direct to the president. Mr. President, I call upon you to take the question from Power FM.
So, Alfonso, I've got some good news for you to answer your question. We are winning this election. Don't even bother yourself to look at other things. That's a simple answer. You know that very well. Every Zambian knows that. We don't even need to go into semantics and calculations. We are winning this election. I want you to walk away very happy. I know you're among the Zambians that would like to walk these streets free. You're among the Zambians that would want to see power. You're among the Zambians that detest corruption. We are winning this election. We are bringing this country. We are going to reset the country. We will restore the country. It will be national renewal. Peace and unity is what we preach. Yeah, so walk away from here very happy. They are trying to intimidate you. They are trying to instill fear in you. Like I have said, Zambia is not Tanzania. Zambia is a Christian nation. Zambians, Christians right now are fasting. They are on their knees. And Lord Almighty will show that he reigns supreme. At the mention of the name of Jesus, in case you wanted to know, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. That's what gives us the strength. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's the free testimony. Opportunity to interface with the president, and thank you so much. Thank you so much.